two dirty painters to multiple seven-figure business owners. I'm Redion.
And I'm Karmelo.
We'll be giving you guys the insider secrets to take your trades business to the next level.
Crazy stories to proven strategies. Get ready to supercharge your business with us.
Welcome to the Dirty Painters Podcast.
In today's episode, we will be explaining why 2024 is the perfect time to start your own painting business. Let's get right into it. So why should you start your own painting business in 2024? And why is it a perfect time?
It's pretty cool now to be a dirty painter, I guess, these days. All these influencers are making it very lucrative.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, guys. But why you should start a painting business in 2024? Obviously, it's a very lucrative industry. A lot of people these days, they want to be business owners. They want to be entrepreneurs. I think it's a perfect business to start because it has low entry barrier. And also, it's a very satisfying business. I would say it's you see your transformations, it's service, it's
fulfilling.
It's fulfilling. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. It's a very fulfilling business. And we did some research. Obviously, we tell everybody that you should definitely start a painting business. I mean, look at us. We're not doing bad for ourselves. But we did actually some research on this. And we found a few key points that they can reinforce you to start your own painting business, especially if you're somebody that has no idea. This is mostly an episode for somebody that's out there thinking of what to do, especially somebody that's maybe just graduated high school or they're not really happy in college. They're I want to do my own thing. I want to do something that I can choose my own schedule. If I want to work hard, I can go balls to the walls. If I want to make a lot of money, I can make a lot of money. So this is for people that are looking and asking themselves, what should I do? What kind of business should I start? We'll give you a few pointers on if you never worked in the painting industry or if you just dabbled in there here and there in the summer, helped maybe a painting company, of why it's a great time in 2024, or even any year, even 4 years ago, if we're doing this episode, it would have been a good time to start a painting business anytime. I feel painting is recession proof.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons.
Okay,
we have here.
We'll get on it. All right, you want to start with the first one?
Number one, growing housing market. The housing market is evolving, and homeowner average ages are dropping. And then we did our research, and in 2020, which was just 4 years ago, the average homeowner age was 56, and in 2024, it has now gone down to 42. So younger people, younger generations are becoming homeowners.
Yeah, significant drop. I mean, look at us, 24 years old, you bought your first house, I bought my first at 26. So it just, younger people are buying houses. That's pretty much it. It just, and like you said, a lot of I see here a lot of millennials, they're not very handy, or they're not willing to paint their own houses. Like our parents' generation, they were willing to do everything themselves so they can save money. And we see that a lot. Older generation, they're willing to do things themselves more than the average 25 to 35-year-old. Also, a lot of these professionals, a lot of this generation, the age group of 25 to 35, they have very busy lifestyles, way busier than our parents' generation had, the generation before us. It might be because they're working too much on their jobs, or because this younger generation, they want to travel, or because they have other activities that they do after work. They want to go to the gym, they want to go Pilates, they want to, I don't know, they want to do all these things. So
Brunch.
There's a lot of action in that age group's life that they're like, okay, I'm not going to spend 3 weeks painting my cabinets or 3 weeks painting my house. Might just hire somebody else to do it.
And then something else that I want to add, those older generations, they're not really familiar with what it actually costs for their project to be done, whereas the younger people, the younger generations before that, they are pretty understanding of it costs this much, because the older generation is still stuck with 20 years ago pricing.
But also the older generation, think of this generation right now. They're very consumerism heavy. So they'll spend, and I see it a lot. I see a lot of younger people, they'll drop 3 G's on a bag if they see the value, or on a brand something. They'll drop money once they see the value. or younger guys, they'll buy the expensive car when they see value. They'll buy the expensive watch. They'll spend. We spend more. I see it a lot. We spend way more than our parent generation, and the older generation, they would have never fathomed, dropping $5K on a designer bag or buying a $10,000 watch, even though they have money. They were not very consumer, or they were not spending a lot. That was not their main goal. That's why this generation is spending way more money, and also they appreciate their time way more. They're like, oh, why would I cut my grass? I'd rather have somebody else do it, and I can do something else with my time. They value their time, I think, way more than the older generation does.
That's very true.
Yeah. And then the renovation boom. The people who are becoming homeowners right now, like, for example, us, we bought our house, and we had to do a whole lot of things. We didn't buy it brand new. We had to, do the kitchen cabinets, we had to do the floors, we had to remove the carpet, we had to repaint everything. Those houses are not coming up to standard. Most of the houses that this age group is buying is houses that they were pretty trendy back in 2000, 2010. They have the old finishes. The trends have changed. They want more of a modern style. So a lot of these first-time houses that they're buying, they need a lot of upgrades to get them up to standard, to make them Instagram worthy.
Or even the new construction homes. Sometimes it's just not their style, even though if it's freshly painted or whatever, the new floors or whatever. People just like different stuff. They want to make their house into their own home.
Yep, they want to add their personal touches.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that's why we have number 2 here, the renovation boom. A lot of these houses that the first-time home buyers are getting, they need a lot of work to be up to standard, for them to be happy living in that house. And like we said earlier, millennials, Gen Z, and Gen X are not as handy in doing most paint projects. Most of my friends, they can't even put a screw on the wall. Like the people.
What's a hinge?
Yeah, no, it's a lot of them don't even know what hinges are. Number 3, flexible business model. You can start as a sole proprietor, and where you want to take your business, it's up to you. Whether you want to stay a sole proprietor or gradually expand, as it is a very flexible business in terms of scalability. Give us a little bit of insight on that.
So we talked about this in a previous episode before, where there's different levels to each business, and then depending on how much you make a year and all that, that's basically what determines how scalable you are. Do you want to be Joe Schmo with his truck and be happy?
And still make $120K here.
That's up to you. Yeah. If you're happy with that, that's perfect. And then if you want to scale it a little bit more to where you not as hands-on, not on the field, but you're still managing everything, okay, then you can just oversee everything around. Or do you want to just take it to the next level where you're not as hands-on, and even less where you just hire other people and you just have your team running it and just checking up with your team?
Yep.
So there's many ways for you to scale a painting business.
The potential is unlimited. And then a lot of solo painters, they make great money. I've seen solo painters making anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 a month with just one helper, or maybe just themselves, when they run, price correctly, get the right jobs, have the right equipment. So it's very lucrative, at least in my personal opinion, because you can go get a 4-year degree, some bullshit degree, and then your entry level will start 60 G's a year, which you can definitely do that way more than that just by being a painter. You can or you can go work for a painting organization and become a crew leader, become a master painter, a master sprayer, and make more money than a lot of these 40-year degrees that people are wasting time on make. And you can have more flexibility, and you can have more fulfillment.
That's true. And we have the facts. We'll show them at the end. Our research that we've done on how much an average college degree costs, and then how much you can make as a master painter, as a painter, as a crew leader, as a
salesperson,
project manager,
salesperson, territory partner. Or you can even the incentive, the option that we offer with becoming a precision location partner. We can have a turnkey business built for you for a fraction of a college degree. All right, moving on next.
A relatively low barrier to entry. The initial investment is rather small. The essential tools, supplies, and paperwork are affordable and easily accessible.
Yeah, you can start. I started my painting business I think under $2,000 the first time I did it.
Yeah, $2,500.
Yeah.
A sprayer, power washer, some hand tools.
The GX19 was $700. The pressure washer was $300. We already had some hand tools. What else did we buy?
The Pro X, yeah, and then the LLC, the paperwork, obviously.
Another $500. I can't think of anything
Miscellaneous stuff like ladders.
Yeah, well, like a small ladder. So yeah, I think it was under $2,000.
2,500. But I think when we did our research, it's anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000, and then the other variable comes in if you don't have a vehicle.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a vehicle, then you have to adjust.
But that should not be a limitation. I started. I remember the first time I started doing apartments before you moved to America. I was running my business out of the Pontiac G6 trunk. It's a Pontiac G6 is just like a normal
a sports sedan, a sports coupe,
a sports coupe. So
not a sedan. Yeah,
I would load my sprayers there. I'll put my ladder sideways. Sometimes when I had to get the big ladder, I'll just throw it on the roof, put a tarp. I didn't care. The vehicle should not limit you. There's a lot of things that you can do out there. You're not gonna start doing the 20-foot, 30-foot exteriors right away, but you can, with a 4-footer, you can paint bedrooms, you can paint cabinets, you can paint
ranch homes, small
ranch homes. A vehicle, I don't think it's a limitation. Any vehicle, you can start a painting business with any vehicle. And then I would say under $5,000, and then you have plenty of room in that 5Gs to build out some marketing materials, or maybe run an ad, or maybe do some flyers or some coupons or something that you can put the word out there so you can start getting those first jobs. So 5Gs, you can start a pretty decent operation as a solo painter.
Which is not even the cost of a semester.
Yeah, I used to spend more money on books.
Think about that.
All right, next. Reoccurring revenue, heavy cash flow business. Steady stream of income, you finish a job, you get paid. Deposit remaining due upon completion. That's why I love painting businesses. A lot of people are like, oh, Redion, why don't you invest in real estate? Oh, passive. I'm like, that sounds good, but passive income sounds great, but I love cash flow. I love having the weekly cash flow, money going in every single week. And then the more jobs you produce, the more money you make. The more money comes in. You have more opportunities to invest back in the business, open up other locations, do things. When money constantly comes in and you know what to expect, I think that's what makes painting very lucrative. Every week or whenever the job gets completed, you get paid. It's where else? Like, not many businesses out there, or like even when you work for somebody, you get paid every 2 weeks. You have to wait for your paycheck. If you get a corporate job, every 2 weeks you get a standard set pay. It's that's what makes painting very lucrative for me. I get the job, I finish the job, I get paid, I move on to the next one. I know what to expect. I know how much money I'm gonna make. I'm pretty much kind of like in control of my income. If I want to make more, I'll work extra. If I just want to break even for the week, I'll just do one job and then I'll chill. Depends on what you want out of it.
And then the deposit is very important, so that way the customer is cash flowing the job, not you.
Exactly.
Especially since you're starting out, that will be a little bit difficult if you don't just pick up a deposit.
Yes, don't. If you're starting out a painting business, don't make a mistake to not take a deposit at all, obviously, and don't do small deposits. Don't do $100 deposit. Don't do 10% deposit. Don't do 50%. 50% will be able to cover the labor cost and the materials. That way, you're not cash flowing the job, like Karmelo said. And then when you get the final payment, then it's your profit and your overhead. But always have your labor cost and your material cost covered. That way you're not stressing. And you're not putting money out of your pocket to produce a job for a customer.
It is a skill-based service. If you want to take your craftsmanship to the next level, you can build a positive reputation that can lead to referrals and higher ticket projects. So the ceiling is basically almost limitless.
Yes.
You can start with your bedrooms and all that, but the higher you increase your level of craftsmanship, let's say you can do bigger exteriors, you can do bigger higher-end homes, higher-end finishes, special finishes like high gloss, cabinets, etc.
2K polyurethanes.
Stain.
Mm-hmm. Stain is, if you just want to be a craftsman and you don't really care about growing a business, you can even learn how to do Venetian plasters. And there's a lot of resources. Like us, we have our course on how to start your own painting business. It's like a 5-day thing. You come out here, we train you on everything, all the basics. And you can pretty much go out and start your own business. Or you can literally YouTube everything. you can be like, oh, how to paint a bedroom, how to paint this, how to paint that, and then practice in your own house or practice at a friend's house or your parents' house. And then once you have some experience on how to paint walls, then you can start marketing to get a job, get your first job, do it at cost, practice on it, then get the next one, then start making some money. Everything, all the resources that you need to start this business are literally out there. Like you can just go on YouTube and just be like, hey, how do I paint a room? How do I mud a wall? How do I do drywall patches? How do I texture a wall? All the resources are out there. And there is a lot of mentors. There's a lot of people out there that they have those programs like us, that we train people that have no experience at all on the basics of painting. And then the more you're in the business, the more things you learn. And then it's literally up to you how far you want to take your craftsmanship in the business. You want to stick to just basic repaints, or you want to be a higher end painter and learn more things?
Yeah, with whatever you're comfortable. And then the great thing about it is, as a business, what you're offering is a service. So there's nothing like a product that you have to put up, money up for inventory and everything. So you're basically trading your service for money.
Yeah. So you don't have
no further upfront costs.
Yeah. It's not like you're starting a restaurant, you have to buy all the food and then you're not busy and you're throwing food out. That's why I love business. It's a very heavy cash flow. That's why I love painting business. It's a very heavy cash flowing business. Also, you don't have a lot of responsibilities, holding material, inventory, all these costs that they can really make you or break you in the beginning when you're starting like something else. You get the job, you get the deposit, you go buy the paint. Your tools, you only pay for them one time, and then you can use them unlimited times until they break down and they need replaced. And then that's it. You get the job, deposit, get paid. Boom, that's it. And then the craftsmanship, if you want to be an elite skilled level painter that only offers higher end finishes, there's again a lot of resources out there. For example, our cabinet course, it'll teach you how to use 2K polyurethanes. It'll teach you how to be a premier finisher in your market. There's the resources out there, but in the beginning you don't need any of that. Just go on YouTube, learn how to paint a bedroom or cabinets the basic way, and then or listen to our podcast about our SOPs. You can copy paste all these SOPs and just trial and error, paint your own house.
And then this is probably the one we've always talked about the past few years to each other, like when we're sitting and just having conversation. The aging workforce. Our dad's generation is retiring soon from the trades, and with all those craftsmen gone, the industry is going to be left with a big void in quality craftsmanship. Start now, so when that happens in the next few years, you'll be ahead of the game and already established and ahead of your competition, so you can fill that gap in the market for skilled painters.
Yes. Like electricians, plumbers, painters, carpenters, framers, drywallers, all these, like our dad's generation, like our dad is 58, he has another 5 years before he officially, I don't think he'll ever retire, but like most of those craftsmen, tradespeople, they're gonna be retiring soon. And then there's not a lot of influx of younger tradespeople going into the trades because it's not as lucrative or it's not as sexy as being a stockbroker or being a influencer, being a streamer, being a Bitcoin trader, being what else? What are the hottest things right now? Being a YouTuber. Everybody wants to do those things that they see online. Like, oh yeah, that's what I want to do. They don't. I think the younger generation is not really looking into the trades, and I think it's there's not many resources out there pushing the trades of how much you can achieve by learning a trade and then learning how to run a service-based business in the trades. There's not a lot of resources, especially at schools or colleges. They're not really like I remember my old high school used to have like trades school.
Trade shows, yeah.
No, like trades, like a trade school. Like you learn how to be a welder, you learn how to be a mechanic, and then they stopped it. I'm like, not many schools had that, and I haven't heard any other schools having any of that. So they're pushing the traditional, like, hey, go get a 4-year degree, go work corporate, whatever. There's not many people talking about how good the trades can be for you. You can have zero skills, zero knowledge about it, and you can pick it up. If within a year you can become a good painter, guaranteed. I had no experience at all painting. I mean, I've never painted in my life until I moved to United States. I never thought I was going to be a painter, and then I picked it up on it pretty fast. It's not rocket science. Again, it's pretty simple.
And then
It's paint.
I think I saw a statistic the other day that they said for every 50 tradespeople that retire, depending on their industry, like they get replaced by either 4 or 7 new people,
Yeah, that's insane.
which is very low.
Yeah. I remember I was reading about the big gap in for electricians. There's going to be a huge demand for electricians. And those guys are going to be fucking millionaires.
Yeah, they're going to be charging so
Yeah,
much
they're gonna be
because there's going
charging
to be
so
so
much.
little.
And it's the same with painting. Think there's not many young people going to the painting industry. And all these bigger companies run into issues because they can't staff the companies, or the older business owners get out of retire, sell their businesses, do whatever they're gonna do. Once they hit their age, there's not gonna be enough people to do the work, and that's when the prices are gonna go up, because when demand goes up, prices go up. That's why me and Karmelo are really stuck with, like, we sat down 6 years ago. We're like, okay, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna stick to it, because just for the reason of the demand that's gonna be, and then there was a big demand already like 6 years ago. But just think of, like, I was like, Karmelo, think of the next 10 years. I'm like, okay, we can go work corporate, we can go get a nice suit job and all that, but we're gonna be capped. We're gonna be 40 years old trying to make the money that we can make within the second year in business. So that was like a turning point. It was a demand that we saw, and it's actually happening and unveiling right now in front of us. There's a huge demand in trades. So we were right with our prediction. We're like, okay, let's stick with this and just run with it. And it's still a very fresh market, I think, especially the way that we do things better than the older generation, the way that we're running the businesses. We're treating it as a legit business versus just a painting company, which have been looked down upon. Being a painter, and like Lil Davey says, shout out to No Painters Haters, Lil Davey. He's our favorite person on Instagram. He's like, being a painter back in the day, it was like a very, like, oh, he's a fucking painter. He's like him, like, you know, he, like, people would talk shit, like,
Talk down.
talk down to you, look down on you. And then it's true. And then Lil Davey, he's been in the industry for like 30 something years. And I've talked to him a few times, like, yeah, dude, being a painter back in the day was not a good thing. You're a fucking loser being a painter. So I think that transition is just starting to happen. The more people see, like, young business owners, like, for example, like my brother, they see Karmelo, 24 years old, killing it, being a painter, they're starting to understand, like, oh, there's more to this. It's not frowned upon anymore to be a painter, because when you treat it like a legit business, the potential is unlimited. So that mindset and that I can't find the word, but
Turning point?
That it's starting to happen right now. People are starting to see, like, these legit businesses popping out and, like, showcasing their work and showcasing the capabilities of what you can achieve when you have a legit operation. And then they're starting to change their mindset. And we get hit up by a lot of young guys too. And I love to see, like, younger guys going into business, choosing the painting business path versus, like, working on the degree or going to college and pretty much creating their own luck.
And then we've had some people that we've consulted that they leave their job that they've gone to school for 4 to 6 years to become dirty painters.
No, we've had guys that they had high-paying corporate jobs, like 180 to 250 a year, that they bought our consulting packages so they can learn how to start their own business because they can make more money having a painting business. We had people, you know, engineers, software engineers. What was the last one that we did? He was an engineer too. That they were like, okay, dude, this corporate is killing me. I need to do something on my own. No previous painting experience at all, like zero. He's like, I want to start my own painting business. I'm like, okay, come spend 1 week with us, and then you'll have everything that you need to start interior painting business, exterior painting business, and a cabinet painting business. I think it's easier to start with cabinets. It's easier to learn.
It's more lucrative too.
It's more lucrative too. It's easier to advertise the market. Not a lot of painting companies do more cabinets. Plus, it's a process. It's just follow the instructions. If you're good at following instructions, it can be easy. You do a few, you learn, you spend some time at workshops, you try on your cabinet, you do 2-3 jobs, and then that's it. It's not rocket science.
And then you already talked about this in the very beginning of the episode, but resilience in economic downturns. Historically, painting has shown resilience in difficult economic times because people may prioritize maintaining and renovating their current property rather than just upgrading to another one instead, making this a recession-resistant business model.
So I remember when we were first starting out, and I asked some of our Sherwin-Williams reps, I was like, dude, how was it in 2008, 2009, 2010 when the economy took a big hit? People were losing their houses. Businesses were getting people were getting fired. Big corporations. And then I asked a few of them that they've been with Sherwin-Williams for like decades. So I'm like, how was it for painters? He's like, dude, it's crazy. The craziest thing is a lot of these people that lost their jobs, they started painting businesses. They got into painting because they will still work on it. But he said the good painting companies that had a good reputation, delivered a good quality product, they persevered. They were fine. Obviously they had to charge less because people didn't have enough money, but they would still work for them. So that was like, okay, this is good. I love hearing that because now I can go all into this business because no matter what happens in the economy, like you just read, people will still need to renovate their houses. They still need to fix them. Their exteriors will still deteriorate. They don't have money maybe to like blow up their kitchen and then put all new cabinets. So they'd just rather repaint them. All these things, the life goes on. Doesn't mean like because the economy is bad, the life will stop. It's a maintenance service as well. It's not only a visual aesthetic service. It's not only a want. It's also a need. Being in the painting industry, people still need to maintain their properties. That's why you might charge less, but you still have work to pay your bills, make money, run a business, which to me, it was a very encouraging thing that all those reps that I asked, they're like, yeah, all the good companies were fine. And then they saw a huge influx of people who were corporate and they had high paying jobs. They started being painters. So I was like, that's great. And it made sense what they told me.
DIY fatigue. The DIY area is dwindling down because homeowners start to realize the complexities and the time involved to complete painting projects properly. We just had some examples to give out from this week, especially this year. I've had a lot of people that they just say, oh, yeah, I just started doing it on my own, and then halfway through I just quit because I'm working, and then I have to come back home and to do this is just very tiring for me and all that, where they don't do the patches properly, they're not sanded properly, so they basically just tell us, like, pick it up from here and make it look nice.
Exactly. So I think that's because HGTV, everybody watches that channel and like, oh, they make it seem so easy, and they transform all these houses within like a few days. Like, oh, how hard can it be? Also, all these interior influencers, all these people that are doing projects themselves on Instagram, they make it seem so easy. And then a lot of them, they go ultra viral, and people see them like, oh, if they can do it, I can do it too. And then they come to a realization that they more goes into what they actually see on Instagram, on AGTV, on YouTube, than what it actually takes to get those jobs done. So that's why like the DIY fatigue is happening, because people are realizing it's not as easy to paint your cabinets by yourself, or you can fuck them up pretty bad, and it's going to cost you more to fix them than if you would have just hired somebody in the beginning. So I think that's starting to phase out, and people are realizing like, hey, it's better to just let the pros do their thing than just try to like botch up the job. I think that's it's phasing out itself. We're not getting as many anymore as we used to. Like, oh yeah, I tried to do my cabinets myself, and I messed them up, and it's not as often as it used to be like 3 years ago. I think that phase is kind of getting phased out. People are realizing like, hey, just hire the pro, get it done the right way, and then call it a day. Even if it costs you a little bit, at least you'll be satisfied. Also, the time. Like, you can do your cabinets yourself, but if you're not a trained professional, it'll probably take like 3-4 weeks. And I'm sure you still have to go to work. You still have to like...
Sometimes even months. I've seen some people that have gone to estimates.
So I'm like, yeah, it's not as easy as we make it seem. You know, that's what we do every day. This is not what you do every day. So it'll take you a longer time. So.
And then a lot of people just start it as like a hobby, but it's literally just another job.
It is.
So if you stop working, let's say for 8-9 hours or however many hours you work a day, and then you go to doing this, you feel like you're working, and then it's just mentally, physically, you're getting drained.
Yeah. Well, you can't have your buddies over to paint your house and then just buy them a pizza and some beers. They're like, dude, hire some professionals. This is too much work. It's like those jokes. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna have my friends come help me move. I'll just buy them beer and pizza.
Yeah, so they can break their back for just some Little Caesars hot and ready.
Yeah, I'm like, nobody wants to come do that, man. I promise you. It's not as easy. It's the same with projects. Unless you have somebody very handy and then, they enjoy that. They do that for fun, so that's different. But like the average person doesn't want to do that. Don't do that to your friends.
And then one of our last reasons here, which, again, we already talked about in the beginning, it's a lucrative and fulfilling venture. As the economy continues to recover and people invest in renovating their homes and businesses, the demand for professional painting services is more likely to increase.
All right, so for example, use the Florida booming market right now. New construction homes, new commercial buildings, all these buildings, they're going to need painting. Or the first-time home buyers that are upgrading to bigger houses, which most likely won't be new construction, they're going to need painting. Or because back in the day, the trend was like all wood tones, cabinets, cherry, oak. A lot of these places, a lot of these cabinets, they need to be refinished. And these days, like I've seen kitchen remodels start anywhere from $60,000 to $100,000 to remodel your kitchen. Plus, your kitchen is going to be a mess for 3 months, which does make more sense. Refinish your cabinets for under $15,000, maybe get a new backsplash, do some new countertops, and do any color you want, or stay for 3 months without a kitchen and then just blow the whole thing off. It's a mess. So a lot of people, that's why it's becoming more lucrative, because obviously it's faster. Obviously, you can get a brand new kitchen for a fraction of the cost of like demoing and doing everything new. And it's just less intrusive. It's just like you don't have people in your house for 3-4 months, because that's how long the average kitchen remodel takes, 3-4 months.
And then you're also not limited into colors, because when you get new ones from let's say a factory or a cabinet manufacturer, you just have a specific list of products.
Yeah.
Whereas when you just refinish them, you have a plethora of colors. You can choose any color you want.
Yeah, you can do any color you want. And then exteriors, for example, those will always be lucrative, because every 5 to 7 years, houses need to get repainted.
And then what's your favorite phrase that you like to use for exteriors? It's a curable
deterioration. That's what exterior painting is. Exterior painting is curable deterioration, and then you have to stay on top of it. Otherwise, your stucco is going to start falling down, your wood is going to start rotting, moisture is going to start seeping into the house.
It's like a trickle-down effect if you don't paint your exterior as frequently as you should.
Exactly. You have to maintain it. And then interiors, trends change. You might get sick of your white walls. You might want to add a pop of color. Or you're buying a new house, you want to refresh everything because it has scuff marks. It's a lot of things. That's why I think it's always going to be lucrative. No matter what market you're at, it's a very lucrative business, because people always need to paint stuff. And I see it, with our marketing. Every location that we are marketing, it's unlimited leads. Like, it's crazy. The demand is insane in every market. There's no slow market for painting.
There's enough for everybody.
Yeah, there's enough for everybody. And if you differentiate yourself and listen to previous episodes, how to differentiate your business and yourself, you can position yourself as a top dog in the market. That's it. People are like, oh, I think my market is slow. And then I'll go run ads. I'm like, yeah, dude, your market is definitely not slow. You just don't know how to market. You don't know how to do marketing. Your market is not slow. Always somebody will need painting. Because we have some guys that we work with that they're like in smaller towns, in fucking bumfuck.
Bumfuck nowhere.
So, and then they stay pretty busy. They have really nice operating businesses in very small markets. So
in markets that are population 200 to 150,000.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even know those cities. Like, where are they? So, but we market the right way, and they stay consistently busy, and then they do good numbers too, and then make a good living. So no matter what you are, don't use the excuse like, oh, I think I'm in a slow market, I don't think there'll be enough work. No, there is enough work everywhere for painting. Even in Greece, Greece is a shitty economy. People always need painting there. Obviously, they don't charge what they used to charge 15, 20 years ago when our dad was working there, like full time, like having a full scale construction company. But there's still demand for painting. That's a great example. People still paint there. I was talking to this guy. He's in Cyprus, which is pretty much Greece. Same thing. And he's like, yeah, dude, the exteriors, hotels, he stays pretty friggin' busy. He doesn't charge same price that we charge here, or that what they used to charge 10, 15 years ago in Greece. But he has a good business. It's impressive. He uses Graco sprayers. He differentiates himself because he invested in the good Graco sprayers, and he's doing well for himself for being in Greece. So the location, the small market, the bad economy, it's not an excuse. You can start a thriving painting business anywhere.
It's nobody's fault but yourself.
Yeah.
Do more.
So yeah, any market you think you are, painting is very lucrative. Those are the main reasons that I would choose starting a painting business over and over, unless, I won $500 million in the lottery. I would choose that. But yeah, no matter what career path, and I have friends that I went to high school with, I went to college with, who, they chose. I have friends who are doctors now. I have friends who are lawyers, very, very prestigious career paths, software engineers and all that. And I don't want to sound cocky, but none of them makes more money than us, like me and Karmelo. So, and then those guys spend, 6-7 years in school. Again, I'm not saying school is wrong, but if you want to be a business owner and you don't want to take the school path, this is a very lucrative business that you can be in. And then the longer you are in it, the better you become, and the more you can earn being a painting business owner or any trades. Again, if plumbers, roofers, those guys are freaking killers.
It's the same with almost everything in the construction industry. So pick what you like. For us, it's painting. And we really like it. Just, again, the lucrative factor and then the profit margins.
Yes.
In this industry, they're unmatched.
Yep. And then when you run it like a well-oiled machine, like how we do, it's just there's no ceiling. You can, every time you hit a ceiling, you can break through it. And then you hit another one, you can break through it very easily. It's all up to how far you want to take it. You can have a very good life just by painting by yourself, and you can have a really good life by having multiple crews, multiple locations, multiple guys, doing 10 jobs a week. So there's no cap.
Yeah, there's really no ceiling because, like you said, you could just start from the bedrooms and then you can get it all the way up to like working with commercial properties for big brands. Like we know this company that they just do targets. You know which one I'm talking about, but they're not in the painting industry. They're in a different construction industry. They just do targets all around the U.S.
Yeah, there's so much opportunity.
Limitless.
But one piece of advice is if you're gonna start it, and then you're gonna stick with it, just focus on that solely. Don't just do it all around and doing other things. If you really sit down like, okay, I'm gonna invest time and money to start a painting business, that's what I'm gonna do. Don't do it part-time. Don't do it unless you just trying to make some extra cash and you want to go somewhere else. But if you want to build a legit business, you have to put the work in. You have to put the groundwork in the beginning, the first year or two. They're not going to be easy, but that's the thing with it. They're not going to be easy, but you're still going to make money. That's why I love it too.
Yeah. And then it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows, just like how we're talking about it now. These are the pros, but always expect, like with running a business, there's always going to be some things that you're going to have to deal with. Yeah. And you have to persevere, show grit, like we said in the past.
No matter what business, even getting a job, I don't think it's easy just getting a job. I'm sure
you're going to run into situations.
You're going to run issues. You're going to be unsatisfied. You're going to be unhappy. It's the same with this business. It's not going to be like, oh, I show up to work every day. I paint walls. I make money. I go home. No, it's going to be difficult. But my favorite thing is no matter how difficult it gets, you always make money. Mm-hmm. Always. Because you're always going to get paid at the end of the job, even with a difficult customer. The worst that can go wrong is you have to redo something. It's low risk as well, especially when you're doing like smaller projects. So there's not a lot of risk involved.
At the end of the day, it's paint.
Exactly. It's not rocket science. We're not building medicine here. We're not building stuff. It's paint. The worst that can go wrong, we have to redo something or pay somebody else to come fix my fuck-ups, which you have to account for, especially if you have no experience at all getting to the industry. But again, it's a very low-risk business.
Yeah, and then we've had an episode of navigating industry challenges, which you can listen to if you're just stumbling onto this one. So we've already discussed this, and then if you're actually thinking of going the painting route, then I would really recommend listening to that one too.
I would recommend listening to every single episode of recording because we map out, because we started from ground zero. We started with nothing pretty much. And we map out every single step, every phase of the business, the challenges, everything that we did wrong. You can listen to all of that, and then you can really understand what it takes to build a successful organization, or what it takes to just stay smaller and still make a good living by being a solo painter. Because I'm telling you guys, you can make more money being a painter than being a doctor.
I have the numbers. Do you want me to pull those up?
Yeah, pull them up.
I have a few numbers that I did some research for this video, so we can compare. All right. So we have, let's say you want to go the doctor route, and then you really want to be a big baller. And
Again, we still need doctors.
Yeah,
A
obviously.
painter is not gonna be able to give you a check or stuff. But this is for the people that they want to make money, and like, oh, what's the best thing to do, the school route, for me to make a lot of money. This is not for somebody that enjoys medicine, enjoys helping people, and enjoys doing all those things. That's their passion. This is for the people that think more for the monetary side of things.
So if you want to be a neurosurgeon, which all of this is pulled from surveys, it's going to be $1.2 million in school and 7 years all in before you even start making any money.
Okay.
Which it's a lucrative also career path, but before you start making any money, which you're probably going to have to use to pay off your student loan debts again, that's the cost of becoming a neurosurgeon. Now, let's say you want to go the lawyer route.
How much, what's my starting rate when I start making money?
On a neurosurgeon?
Yeah.
It was $280 a year. But then again, you have to account for taxes, all that stuff, and then also repaying your student loan debts, because $1.2 million, it's almost 2 mortgages, depending on what house you want, or a big mortgage for a house that you really want.
Wow, okay.
Let's say if you want to go the lawyer route, because I'm covering obviously the most lucrative based career
Based on
paths,
money.
yeah, that you can get through college. It's going to be anywhere from $27,000 to $47,000 a year in school for 7 years, which is going to be 4 years undergrad and 3 years in a law school.
So what's that, about $500,000?
So that ranges anywhere from 27 to 190 all the way to 330.
Okay, to be a lawyer.
Before you start making any real money.
Okay.
And then after that, you're not really going to start making money immediately as a lawyer, because you have to work up the ranks. So that's one thing. And then I also pulled out some other averages for other degrees. So it's going to be anywhere from 27 per year or 108,000 over 4 years in a state public institution. If you're out of state, it's going to be about 58,000 a year, it says, or 234,000 over 4 years.
Oh, okay.
I remember how much we were paying when you were studying
Oh,
here.
yeah. Out of state.
So, yeah, this is all like...
For the most lucrative college routes that you can take.
Yeah,
like,
this is all...
If your main goal is to make a lot of money, and like the most prestigious one that you can make a lot of money for school is becoming... And that's starting. I mean, obviously, we have very successful clients who have their own practice and all that, but they're also 50, 60 years old. Like, the one thing I told my brother, I was like, I don't want to be fucking 50, 60 years old driving the supercars and stuff. I want to do it now while we're young, you know? I don't want to not be able to get out of the fucking Aston or like the Lambo, like at 60, I'm like, my back hurts. I want to do it now. Because we have a lot of clients that have their own practice again. They're very successful. They make a killing. But it took them 20 years to get to that point. 20 years, and that's, you know, that's conservative. Because you have your student loans, you have all that stuff, and then you have to work your way up the ranks. Because you can't just start your own practice right away, I would guess, right?
Yeah, you need a big investment.
Yeah, you need a big investment. Plus, you need experience.
I've talked to this one dentist that he said initially that, well, his wife is a dentist. He's a realtor, and he said that they want to get into their own practice, and the initial investment is going to be anywhere from $500,000 to $750,000.
Yeah, big investment. So again, this, if your sole focus going the college route, the education route is to make money, there's better avenues. And then I know painting is one of them, guaranteed, because we've done it. So if, again, we still need those people in our society to function. If you're passionate about it, if you enjoy what you do, if you want to help people, if medicine is your passion, lawyering is your passion, whatever law, accounting is your passion, that's different. But if your sole focus is to make money and to figure out a way to get to the money faster, then start a painting business. You can start with a with an Olympian tuition, which is a starter package, $25,000. You get the blueprint on how to run $1 million operation, which at 30% margin, which is our average on all across the locations. 30%, you're taking home about $300K a year, and that's an easy manageable operation. You running the operation, you have a salesperson, you have like 4 crews. It's not hard to get to $1 million mark and taking 30% margin at home. So do the numbers according to, or do your own research. We're just giving you the numbers that we see across the board for our average location. And do your own research and then sign up for the Olympian University.
Olympian University.
Cool. Yeah. Those. I hope we gave you guys some insight. I mean, you can message us on Instagram. This is mostly an episode for people who are struggling figuring out what career path they want to take. And this is for the people that they want to start something on their own and they don't know what. And they're kind of confused. And they see all these people out there pushing like, be e-commerce guy, be a Bitcoin trader, like all these things, like, buy my course and all that, and just I'll teach you how to make $500K a day with my $99 a month subscription. No, it's not that easy. Start something solid, build a solid foundation, build a solid, legit business. And the first 2 years, you're still gonna make money, but if you're gonna stay consistent and build it the right way, you have no ceiling. Especially younger like people, younger guys like 18 to 22 that they want to start something on their own and being business owners. I would look into this path, definitely. I wish there was a podcast out there when I was 18 to 20 that would be like, dude, this is the potential of being a painting business owner. I would have been way more focused, way more motivated, way more eager to achieve what those guys, like for example us, I would look up to those guys and be like, hey man, this is what you can achieve being a painter. I would have probably worked harder, or we would have started the business way sooner if there was somebody talking about these things when we were starting out.
Definitely, especially the getting ahead of the game part.
Yeah,
because I really think that's going to be important.
Absolutely. So I think you guys got some value from this, especially if you're confused and don't know what to do. Look into the painting industry or any trades industry. Painting will be the easiest one because there's less risk versus starting a roofing company, starting a full remodeling company, starting a plumbing company, electric company. Those are like higher entry barrier. You need more licenses, you need more education, you need more things versus painting. You just paint at the end of the day. It's easy if you do it the right way. Anything else you want to add?
Any other questions? No, I think I don't really have any other questions for this one. I think we pretty much summed up why everybody should start a painting business.
Yep. Again, we still need doctors, guys.
Yeah.
Don't everybody go be a painter. This is for the people who care more about the money than a career that's going to fulfill, their passions or helping people and all that.
It's one of those careers that as the more you're into it, the more, like you said, it just becomes fulfilling. You start liking, seeing all these transformations. Oh, I did that.
You start taking pride in your work.
It's satisfying.
Plus,
in a way.
Once you start growing your business, it becomes more challenging. It's like a game. You're like, now I have to become better at sales. Now I have to become better at marketing. Now I have to become better at recruiting talent. Now I have to become better. Especially when you're somebody that always looking to become better, self-develop, and improve every day. It's a great business because every level you have to transform yourself pretty much and learn something new and implement it. Which a lot of people out there, they are like that. They're really into becoming better every day. This is a great business for that. Besides the fulfillment and then the satisfaction, taking pride, I painted this building. Like how many times we drive by with friends, like, hey, look, we painted this house or we painted this building. That comes too. All right, so that will wrap up this episode of the Dirty Painters podcast.
Be sure to follow our business on Instagram at Olympian Painting and also our personal pages, Olympian_Redion and Olympian_Karmelo, and also keep up with the Dirty Painter podcast videos.
And if you like this episode, be sure to share with a fellow painter or trader. Until next time, this is Redion.
And I'm Karmelo.
Signing off from the Dirty Painters podcast.
See you.